In today's video, I'm gonna go over, is sleeping around really the answer? If you guys are new to my channel, I talk about different things like different enhancers in the bedroom, things to help you down there. But one question that I get a lot from mostly young men, since my community is mostly guys that watch me, but I know everybody kind of has this thought in general, is sleeping around really the answer to life's problems? Like, will sleeping around help fulfill you? Will it make you feel better about yourself? Will it kind of fill gaps or that hole that you might feel within your body, within yourself, etc.? In today's video, I'm gonna let you guys know a little bit about my story and give you guys actually 3 pros and 3 cons to actually sleeping around, so you guys can make the decision and just come to the conclusion yourself if sleeping around might actually be the answer or not. Benefit number 1 of sleeping around is practice actually does make perfect. So this is one thing that a lot of people might not recognize, but the more that you do anything, the better that you get at it. Now, of course, if you guys need help in the bedroom, I have the first resource link down below. It's again mainly for guys. If you need help with like lasting longer, being able to go multiple rounds, growing bigger down there all naturally, it's the first resource link below. But for a lot of people, once you get into like that bedroom setting, you don't actually know what you're doing. And a lot of this comes from just not getting enough reps in. Now, a lot of people that watch this probably go to the gym. A lot of my guys that watch this probably are in the gym. Like anything, the more reps you do, the more reps that you get in, that's the better that you get at whatever you're doing. So in the bedroom, it works no differently. Now, imagine this. Imagine you're with a nice young lady, you know, you guys go through the whole dating process, you're feeling her, she's feeling you, and you finally make it to the point where you guys are able to connect on this intimate level, on this very like sensitive and emotional and just like really close level. And you get in the bedroom and you don't know what you're doing. This might be because like you're a virgin or you just haven't really done it enough times before. You don't really, you know, sleep around at all. And because of that, you could actually lose this person that maybe you worked so hard to get, you know, like maybe you got your finances in order, you got your lifestyle right, you're in the gym, you're looking good, your looks maxing, all these things. But once you get into that bedroom, it's really like a whole arena, guys. Like, not to be TMI or whatever, but if you have like a, you know, a nice, capable young woman, she's gonna want you to be putting it down, doing your thing. And if you haven't had enough practice in the past, then you don't know what you're doing, because it's not anything like how those bad websites that you're not supposed to be looking at make it seem like. Like when you actually get in the bedroom, it's like you need to be doing certain things. Again, I go over it more in detail with the first resource link below, but practice makes perfect. The more that you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. So that's really the first benefit. It's like the more that you do it, of course, you're gonna get better at it. And when it actually counts, when you actually do meet somebody new and you guys finally do take it to the bedroom, you're gonna be knowing what you're doing. Benefit number 2 of sleeping around is that I'd say that you realize that sex isn't everything. Now, this is something that I kind of had to like figure out like with time, but I feel like in our society, we hold like sex to such a high pedestal. It's a very like fetishized thing from a young age. We're exposed to like those bad websites like I talked about earlier that you're not supposed to be watching. And a lot of things that humans do, especially, again, my audience is like 90% men, especially men, 90% of the things that we do really is for women and to take it back to the bedroom. And I feel like once you do it enough, once you sleep around enough, you kind of realize that sex isn't everything. And in a lot of ways, that can be very freeing because you're not so just in it anymore. Like when you don't know about it, you just always think because everybody's talking about it, they're alluding to it in TV, anime, on social media. There's all these like thirst traps and stuff that people be doing. And in your mind, you might be thinking like, dang, I'm missing out because I'm not doing this. I'm not sleeping around. I'm not doing all this and that. But after you do it enough times, you realize that it's not really all it's chalked up to be. Like there are more important things, like actually having a good, genuine relationship with somebody, connecting with somebody on a deeper level. Like intimacy is important, but you can reach intimacy through other things, not just sexual intimacy. You could do it from somebody's mindset or because of somebody's belief system, or you just meet somebody that's really fun and you get along with them really well. So that's the second benefit I would say, is that you just realize that sex isn't all it's caught up to be. And benefit number 3 of sleeping around is that you get it out of your system. Now, I've seen this, you know, I coach guys, I help guys, whatever, what they're doing in the bedroom. And one thing that I've heard even from like friends, homies around me, homies that have gotten married early on, is that sometimes you get to a point where like maybe you got out of the game early. So maybe you got married and it was the first person you've ever been with and that's all you knew. For some people that works, but for others, I've heard that they wish that they experimented a little bit more, that they experienced a few more people, because again, especially as young men, I think there's a lot of like pride and stuff that's based around like sexual encounters. How many people you've been with? How bad is she? What does she look like? How's her body shape and all this stuff? And not saying this is right, but for men, I feel like a lot of times we kind of like elude a sense of like importance to some of those guys who are able to actually sleep around more, because also just the ability to be able to sleep around as a man. As a woman, I'll say I won't speak on that, but as a man, it's not easy to be able to do. So it's almost like some guys will respect you more or think a little bit highly of you if you are able to do it. And I know some people who have gotten basically, you know, roped down, and they're just like, dang, like I kind of wish I was one of those guys who was able to go out and do it a little bit more, because those people that tell me that, they kind of sound like they're trapped now because they're in a relationship, because they have a kid, because they're married, and they're at the point where they can't really do it anymore. And because of that, they kind of just feel like they are missing out on something. This can lead to all types of things. This can lead to infidelity. This could lead to them watching those sites that they're not supposed to be watching because they feel unfulfilled. A whole sorts of like Pandora's boxes that you don't want it to be open. So the benefit 3 of like sleeping around is that you actually do get it out of your system, and hopefully at a younger age. Now, I don't want to make this video sound like it's all benefits, it's all pros. Like there are some cons, actually a lot of cons to sleeping around. The first con, and again, this video is mainly targeted towards young men because 90% of my audience is men, but there is always a risk of pregnancy if you don't use protection properly. That's a tongue twister, say it 3 times fast. But yeah, even with protection sometimes, guys, there's always mistakes that can happen. I know a lot of guys, they be BSing, they be bullshitting. Like, dude, not everybody always wants to wrap it up. Not everybody wants to use protection. And even sometimes if you do use protection, there always is like a small risk of pregnancy. And that's really the first con. Like for both genders, like if you're not ready to have a kid and you're sleeping around a lot, think about it in terms of like variables and like fractions, percentages, whatever. The more you do something, the higher the likelihood of somebody getting pregnant goes up. So take that how you will. The second con is that there's always a risk of STDs. So even if you do wrap it up, and again, guys, this is not, my disclaimer is I'm not a medical professional. This is just from, you know, me to you as a regular person. There always is a risk of STDs. Even if you wrap it up, even if like the first con, even if you use all these protective measures and use protection, there always still is a risk that you could contract something. And, you know, some of these things can be fixed through medicine. Some things stay with you for life. So you just have to be careful with that, because you're quite literally playing with fire every time you enter to the bedroom with someone new or even somebody that you know. And the third con of sleeping around is that you may actually regret it. Now, you might feel the almost kind of spiritual side of it more. Like I know, and I've heard from people who sleep around a lot, that after they've done it like enough times, they almost kind of feel numb to it. It's almost like they experience too much. It's like the opposite of that benefit I told you about, how some people feel like they didn't experience it enough. The flip side of that is some people feel like they did too much with too many people. And it's almost like, I don't know if you guys know about soul ties or if you believe in soul ties, but it feels like they've been ripped apart so many different times, and that so many different people have a piece of them that don't actually matter to them. These are people who are not your wife. These are people who are not your girlfriend. Sometimes it's just random people that you hook up with and they don't even mean anything to you. So there is like a spiritual kind of esoteric side to having sexual connections with somebody. I won't get into that too deep with it all, but yeah, you may regret it and you may actually feel it internally from sleeping around. So just all things for you guys to think about. Comment down below, what do you guys think about this? Again, this is a little bit different than my normal content. I do normally talk about things that help young men in the bedroom, but comment down below, are you guys sleeping around? If so, how do you feel about it? If you aren't, do you think that you want to do it more? Do you wish that you could do it more? Let's kind of have an open discussion with each other. If you guys like today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications, because I do post videos like this every other day. And if this video resonated with you, you have to check out this one next. I know it'll help you guys out. I love you guys, and I'll speak with you very soon. I'll see you.